Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for this opportunity for presenting my case study. So here I'm Sirisha. I'm a quality practitioner in Wipro, and with 20 plus years of IT experience. I'm a Lean Six Sigma black belt, and I'm also an ISO lead auditor. I have been assessment team member for CMI Dev and CMI SVC assessments, level 5 assessments of Wipro as an assessment team member. So I had quality for a practice, which is an industry vertical in Wipro currently. And I'm going to present a case study on CART, which is prediction using regression trees today. Uh, Moving on, so as you're all aware, Wipro is a large organization and it presents its own set of challenges, complexity, scale, variations of projects, customer requirements, technologies, and all that. So to be able to be succeed in this kind of an environment, we constantly create new frameworks, methods, and newer ways of dealing challenges and try to improve the quality of the services we deliver to our customers. So today I'm going to talk about one such method, which is CART method. So this is a strategic initiative that we have taken up in a one of the large delivery units, which constitutes to about 25 to 30% in the annual business of Wipro. So this being a strategic initiative, so I would like to present more details as we go along. So uh, so here we start with some basics on machine learning. So we keep hearing the buzzwords, the machine learning, data science, artificial intelligence, and these kind of terminology. So here gives a quick graphical view of what all this is all about. So if you see a machine learning, it constitutes of supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning, and each of them has their own branches of what kind of methodologies will fall under these machine learning subcategories. So today what we're going to cover is on the regression trees, which is part of the supervised learning. So I've given here some information about what is analytics, what is machine learning. So if you see that what is data science, so a combination of business analytics and data analytics at the same time is data science. So the focus here is on the machine learning. If you see machine learning is a branch of artificial intelligence. So as part of machine learning today, we are going to speak about the CART method. CART stands for classification and regression trees. So CART is a decision tree methodology. It is a prediction based on the learning the decision rules, and it comes under the supervised machine learning. So if you see that decision tree, what about CART? So CART is classification regression trees. It was introduced in 1984 by Leo Bremen, Jerome, Richard, and Charles. So it is typically used in addressing the predictive modeling problems, and it is based on binary recursive partitioning. So so there are classification trees to be used when when your response is categorical, whether it is yes or no. For example, whether based on the past data, whether a loan can be repaid by customers or not, based on the typical data, whether loan repayment yes or no is a typical scenario, is one of the example where we can use classification trees. Regression trees is typically when the response variable is, but it's a continuous variable. So if you are trying to predict what could be the customer satisfaction based on a certain set of parameters, so that is when the regression trees is. When they say customer satisfaction, it is a quantitative measure. So the factors which were considered for this regression trees are typically a combination of continuous and categorical variables, and where we are expecting a single output. So that brings me the context of CART, and then so as we all know, cost pressures are across the world today. Whether it is via customers or our internal organizations, there is a huge pressure for cost, and that brings the need for doing efficient methods to bring down the cost. So that is the need for the strategic initiative. So like other predictive modeling, the data was collected for the overall productivity. So what we see is the overall productivity, if it can be improved, it can help to bring down the cost. So to build the model, we have done a brainstorming within the required stakeholders. We have collected the data for the overall productivity and its influencing factors, which have arrived from the brainstorming. And we have done the analysis. So here, if you see, The CART analysis, the outcome as first part of the outcome, it says that the node splitting was done on least squared method error, and there is a graph on the optimal R square considering the current data set, and it says that the 5-node tree is an optimal one in this scenario. So this is the tree diagram. So I'm not sure whether you're all able to see the nodes clearly, but I can help it out for you. So we are seeing that if at what parameters of the factors influencing are performed at what level, and what is the kind of productivity that it can be achieved. So if we see that bulge is one of the parameter, bulge is the number of, is typically how many juniors you are having in the team compared to the number of seniors. So if the bulge is less than 18% or kind of thing, what is the kind of performance? If the bulge is more than 80%, and we are also measuring how much is the number of tickets which are getting closed on the same day, that is the same day closure rate. So if it is less than 68%, what is the kind of productivity that it can achieve? If it is more than 68%, what is the kind of productivity that it can achieve? And similarly, mean time to repair. If the mean time to repair is less than 2 days or more than 2 days, what is the kind of productivity? So that is what this graph optimal tree diagram, which we have arrived through the CART analysis. So using this tree diagram, we are able to set the targets. So though this is from the past data analysis, going from the implementation perspective, we are able to choose the targets for a respective engagements, and for that target to be achieved for a respective engagements, what is the kind of performances of the sub-processes or the factors influencing them which has to be achieved, which will enable them to achieve the target. So what kind of sub-process targets are also to be achieved is also a insight that we get from this tree diagram. So the next one is about the other graphs on the relative importance. In a regression, typically you will see that the coefficient of predictions is what it determines how important that factor is to the overall dependent variable or the response that you are measuring for. In the case of trees, regression trees, the relative importance of a variable, which you see on the left side of the graph, is what it determines, which is the important variable, which is constituting to the into the productivity in this case, into the response. On the right side, we see the model summary. So the outcome is measured based on 4 factors, 4 predictors, which are used to measure the response. Then we'll also see the R square, RMSE, MSE, MAD, and the MAPE for both the training data set and the test data set. So training data set is where, so the learning here is the R square need to be closer to the training data set and the test data set. There should not be much of variation between the two for you to have a good prediction accuracy. Similarly, the mean absolute deviation and RMSE have to be in the acceptable range, which is less than 1, which is again another point that we note here. So with these, it gives us that this model is good for us to go ahead and do the prediction. It gives an indicator that we are good to go ahead with the prediction. So the next step that we have is about the model validation and usage. So model validation is very important, like we do in every cases in all the prediction modeling. So using the model validation, what we have done is we have taken the set of unseen data of the projects for 3 months, and we have predicted the model performance using this unseen data, and we have seen that the MAD is 0.39 and RMSE is root mean squared error is 0.49. So, and these are all in the acceptable range, and this is lower the better. So these MAD is known to be more robust to the outliers, and it gives the goodness of how the model is and how the prediction accuracy is going to be. So then we have also validated the model prediction for month 1, month 2, month 3 for a set of engagements. And here you can see on the graphs how the predicted value versus actual value is varying. And this model is being trained on a regular basis to improve its prediction accuracy. So one point to note here is that this being a strategic initiative and with doing this and setting the targets for programs and trying to achieve the sub process or factors performance, we are able to eliminate the surprises, and we have facilitated the accounts to achieve the targets proactively in the last 6 months. And we are also seeing an increase in productivity trend, which is also showing a impact on the cost. We are able to control the cost, and we are having a increased profit in the last 3 months by using this model in our organization. And
Lisa, you have 5 minutes more.
Sure, thank you. Okay, so in conclusion, if you see, these decision trees are easier to understand. Data exploration is better. It is not much influenced by outliers, and you can also find using decision trees non-linear relationship between the factors. So very commonly we see in a Six Sigma projects about linear regressions, but we can also do Six Sigma projects using the regression trees. Going further, it may be a learning for all of you to take it from here to implement back in your projects. And couple of points that we need to watch out on regression trees is we need to watch out for overfitting. The tree should not, and we need to, as we keep adding variables, we need to see we need to see the relative importance to see which is the one which is a better one, so that we are able to control and we are able to perform and achieve our targets. And as you see, the trees are sensitive to small changes in data. That is the nature of the decision trees. And it can find a large change in the final estimated value. However, if you are able to use aggregation of many decision trees using methods like bagging or random forest or boosting, the predictive performances of trees can be substantially improved. If any such scenario is encountered, we can use random forest boosting and bagging methods, which will help to improve the performance in the trees. So these are my references, and I would like to thank the FGNC team, the MTC team, the jury, and the participants all here. I hope it was convincing to go ahead and try out on this regression trees, which has really benefited in our industry practice to achieve the required targets. So I hope you will also be able to take back the learning from here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sirisa. So I would request Ashish or Rohit if you have any question to Sirisa.
Yeah, Ashish, just one query, Shirisha. So
yes,
you're saying that the linear regression would not have given you the similar outcome versus the cart which you used. So maybe if you can just briefly explain that.
sure, definitely. Thanks, Ashish. I'll explain that. Basically, when here I have explained it here. So when we have the data, where if you're able to establish a linear regression between the response and the predictors, the linear regression works well. But if by chance the linear regression is not giving the required outcome in terms of the R square or the prediction factors, then these kind of methods like decision regression trees is definitely going to benefit, because this will identify the nonlinear relationship between the factors and the variable, which MLR may not be able to identify.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, Shirisha, this is Rohit here.
Yes.
So really nice. I mean, good to see a lot of usage of tools and very, very soundly done whenever it comes to the technical part of it. I have one question in terms of the business impact or the need, because I'm not able to really understand why productivity should be more of a prediction, because it is more to do with continuously improving it. So what was the need to predict the productivity as such, and how did it impact the business?
So the need to improve, we all know that our business objective, one of the business objectives for any organization is on cost. So, and we see that by improving the productivity, the cost can be controlled. So we have established a statistical relationship between the productivity and the cost, which whether when we say that it is operating margin. So this we have done to check whether the improvement in productivity can help control cost. So definitely by improving the productivity, we are able to control the cost.
Okay. And another question which I have on the technical part, as you said that okay, the test data and the training data, if you find a lot of difference or in terms of the R square, correct? So have you made use of R squared adjusted somewhere? Or
Yes.
how did you go about, or whether you had this situation wherein the test data and the training data had a lot of prediction errors or?
So basically, since it's R square, thanks for that question. So R square is what we have calculated. R square adjusted obviously will have little variation to R square. So we have not explicitly calculated R square adjusted for this model. We went with R square and doing the calculation. So obviously R square adjusted will be slightly lower than R squared. Did I?
Yeah.
Did I miss any part of the question? Sorry.
No, that's fine. I mean, just to be more clear on how the approach which you've taken. So I was just thinking that okay, anyway, you have covered the part about the overfitting, because if you get into too much of factors, yeah, so I think you covered it somewhere in the last. So which is good.
Yes. We need to. Too many factors will cause overfitting, and here is where I covered adding too many variables. We need to see which is important based on the relative importance of the variables.
Sure. Thank you. That's it.
And typically, thank you. Typically for trees, we measure the mean absolute deviation and RMSE as important parameters. And so hence the reason we have not explicitly calculated the R square adjusted. And this relative importance of variable is also called as hyperparameter in machine learning. So this is more of a machine learning prediction that we have done here. And the hyperparameters and parameters are measured and validated.
Sure. Only just a suggestion. Probably, I mean, probably you can elaborate more on the business impact. I mean, what was the problem initially, and what exactly you were able to bring to the table from the business perspective. Otherwise, this is really good in terms of the technical part. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Like I explained, it is that we are able to control and reduce the profit, reduce the cost, and improve profit by 20%. And we are able to proactively measure the business outcomes and set the targets for the respective projects, and along with the
Sure.
monitoring on periodic basis. So
Sure.
that is what I have, Rohit.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all
Sirisa.
for giving me this opportunity. Any other questions?
No, thanks, Sirisa. Thanks.